May all my thoughts, my words, my feelings, and my actions be aligned with Mother Earth.
Welcome to this series of talks, People, Purpose, and Planet. Welcome, Lila, to this series of talks, People, Purpose, and Planet, where we invite our community to rethink the future of development and humanity. We are so honored to have you here because you are a passionate young climate activist. We want to share your story, your experience with our young leaders. Who are you, Lila, and what makes you a climate activist?
Well, first of all, thank you so much, Roberto. It's an honor and a great pleasure to be with you today. I'm extremely inspired by your work and feeling super grateful for this opportunity that you gave me today. My name is Lila, everyone out there. I was born in Costa Rica, one of the most beautiful and sustainable countries of the world. There I grew up on a farm with my parents based on 2,000 meters in the mountains of Costa Rica. We had many different vegetables and fruits growing there. And I think this was basically the root of everything that made me the person I am nowadays, because I was deeply connected to nature, and from a very early age already I learned how important it is to treat our earth with respect and with love, because it's our basis of life. At the age of 9, I moved to Germany together with my mom and went there to primary school and high school. That's also where I graduated, and as you can imagine, that's a big contrast, right? Growing up in the jungle in Costa Rica and then to the German lifestyle that is sometimes very conservative and strict and effective. I think that also definitely gave me both values of being somebody connected with nature and other human beings, but at the same time also really passionate about giving back to people that don't have as much as we do in very, very developed countries like Germany.
Thank you, Lila, for this inspiring introduction. As you may already know, a lot of young emerging leaders are popping up all over the world. And I think one of the main challenges for them is first understanding the urgency of the action needed for climate movement and, of course, for systemic change. But also is accepting that they also have these limitations of power and of course, change. Sometimes they even feel frustrated and they just give up before even start fighting, right? So what's your advice for young leaders out there who feel hopeless sometimes?
Wow, what a great question. To be honest, I really remember the moment that this happened to me. I was standing on a beach completely covered with plastic, realizing how much we as a generation and we as one humanity have to care about our environment and the sustainability, because the choices that we do daily affect the future of all generations in the future and the planet Earth as it is. So the moment I was standing there on this beach, something happened with me and it made click, and suddenly I realized, wow, it is our responsibility as a generation and as individuals to act upon choices that are right and cohesive with the environment. And this had a lot of effects as well to my relationships with my family, my relationships with my friends, because at some point then I decided to consume less plastic, to stop eating meat completely, or to simply be conscious about my choices. And sometimes my friends and my family, they didn't realize that, and they said, hey, what are you doing? This doesn't make a difference either way. It doesn't make any impact on the large scale. And I think that was the moment where I realized as well, it doesn't matter how small our actions are, and it doesn't matter how small we are, or at least how small we think we are. It is the tiny drop in the ocean that we can contribute to the large scale. Envisioning all those tiny drops doing their contribution can change the entire world. So just being brave enough to be yourself and just being brave enough to do your tiny little contribution, because you never know who you inspire and you never know who is empowered by the actions that you do.
A lot of senior leaders follow us through all this community we have built the past years, and some of them even are inviting to rethink the current solutions. This is the first time they are accepting that they don't have powerful solution to solve the problem, and they are relying on the new generations to solve also this problem, because it's intergenerational intergenerational problem. So what's the message you would like to give to all these senior leaders who also feel hopeless and also feel a little bit frustrated they cannot do so much, even if they have the means to do it?
I feel like that there is a split happening in between generations, especially when we look into Fridays for Future. A lot of people are saying, oh, look at all those kiddies, they're just standing on the streets and striking and raising their voices for more climate justice. And sometimes I feel that this generates disconnection between generations, because people might think youth, they're like signing with their fingers on the older generation saying, hey, you guys, you completely messed up our planet, when they also didn't know better at this point. Now we are in this situation where we need to create bridges again. We need to come together and create an open space for conversations that are intergenerational. Learn from the elders and also contribute with new perspectives and new technologies and new, perhaps sometimes as well, innovative ideas from the younger generations that need to be implemented in the future. And listen with respect and tolerance so that we can solve those problems in the next 10 years as one united family.
Lila, just for ending this conversation, please give us your top 5 leadership advices or leadership tips for a community who want to feel inspired by you.
It's incredibly interesting to see what type of advice I can give, because I think that there's so many things that one can do. So I can just talk about my personal experience and my personal situation when all this beautiful craziness began. And I think the first point definitely is be brave enough. Just follow your heart, follow your purpose. Ask yourself, what is it that inspires me personally and ignites something within me where I'm powerful enough to follow this path and where I have enough inspiration and motivation to go along this journey. Secondly, I would say that writing all your thoughts down and having a journey and a journal that basically helps you to reflect upon your own lifestyle, your own choices, the conversations that you have with other people is very valuable, because you basically conserve and save everything that you're growing and learning into. And thirdly, then after you gathered all these amazing ideas, all the amazing inspiration, the conversation with people and the input that you receive on a daily basis, create a mind map on a regular basis by using apps like Coggle or MindMaster. This helped me a lot to just stay in focus with all the different things that I wanted to build or implement, but then also having the opportunity to keep adding on different components and really structuring them in a very focused and reflective way. And another one that I can definitely recommend that I did really early on, I remember reading about this somewhere and it inspired me a lot, is actually creating a vision board. By creating a vision board, you can either paint it or glue different things on this vision board. You create an overall image on a very artistic way that lets you just reflect on what are my goals, my visions, what is it that I'm really creating in my life. And if you hang it in your room, above your bed, it just constantly reminds you of, am I still aligned with this, what I really want to do right now? And last but not least, point number 5, I think, is to search the conversations and search interviews and interactions with the people and the target audience that you're really trying to work with. Talking with your mentors or talking with the specific clients that you're trying to solve a problem for, definitely can recommend going as much out there as you can to not just build your product or your solution upon a thesis, but actually get the concise fact and the concise security that what you're building is really needed in the world.
For finishing this commercial is not a question, don't worry, it's actually a request. Right now, I will ask you to add your personal signature or your personal touch through a facial and corporate move. I will just say and do something that could reflect who I am, right? I'm purpose-driven. Please get crazy.
What would I do? I have one thing that comes into my mind. It was the first thing that came into my mind, and it's somehow like this. May all my thoughts, my words, my feelings, and my actions be aligned with Mother Earth and the universe.
Thank you so much, Lila.